The story of Simba and Scar is not just the story of a king and a villain. It is the story of betrayal, fear, loss, and the long road toward redemption. It is a tale written into the heart of the Pride Lands, echoing through every roar, every shadow, and every rising sun. Before Simba was born, before the Pride Lands knew peace, there were two brothers, Mufasa and Scar. Mufasa was strong, respected, and destined to rule. Scar was intelligent, ambitious, and patient. While Mufasa led with strength and honor, Scar watched from the shadows, quietly believing the throne should have been his. The Pride Lands celebrated Mufasa, while Scar learned to smile through resentment. And resentment leapt to grow, become something far darker. When Simba was born, everything changed. The Pride Lands rejoiced. Animals gathered from every corner to witness the future king lifted beneath the rising sun. But while the kingdom celebrated, Scar's world collapsed. Simba was not just a cub. He was the end of Scar's chance at the throne. From that moment on, Scar saw Simba not as a child, but as an obstacle. Simba grew up full of curiosity and excitement. To him, the Pride Lands were a playground, and kingship was an adventure waiting to happen. Mufasa taught him lessons about responsibility, balance, and the circle of life. Simba listened, but, like all cubs, he did not yet understand the weight of those words. Scar noticed this innocence, and he planned. Scar's betrayal was not sudden. It was careful, quiet, and cruel. He planted seeds of doubt in Simba's mind, teaching him about forbidden places and dangerous ideas. He didn't force Simba into trouble. He tempted him. And temptation is far more powerful than command. The day Scar set his plan in motion, the sky itself seemed uneasy. Scar lured Simba into the gorge, convincing him it was a test of bravery. When the wildebeest stampede began, chaos erupted. Simba was trapped, helpless, terrified. But Mufasa came. More. In one final act of courage, Mufasa saved his son. Then Scar appeared. Instead of helping his brother, Scar made his choice. He betrayed him. Mufasa's fall echoed across the Pride Lands, shaking the circle of life itself. And Simba witnessed it all. But Scar's cruelty did not end there. He looked at Simba, broken and afraid, and whispered the lie that would shape Simba's life. "It's your fault." That lie became Simba's prison. Overwhelmed by guilt, Simba ran. The Pride Lands lost not only their king, but their future. Scar claimed the throne, spreading fear and decay across the land. Under his rule, the savannah withered. Scar ruled. Through intimidation, not respect, balance was broken. Meanwhile, Simba collapsed far from home, alone and ready to give up. But fate had not finished with him. Timon and Pumbaa found Simba and saved his life. They offered him something he had never known: life without responsibility. No worries, Hakuna Matata. For a time, it worked. Simba grew older, stronger, but empty. He laughed. He survived. But he did not live. The past followed him like a shadow. The Pride Lands suffered under Scar's reign. The land grew barren. The animals starved. Hope faded. Scar's victory was hollow, built on fear and lies. Years passed. Then one day, everything collided. Nala found Simba. She did not see a carefree exile. She saw the king who had abandoned his duty. Their reunion forced Simba to face the truth he had buried for so long. And when Rafiki revealed Mufasa's spirit, Simba could no longer run. "You are more than what you have become." Those words shattered the lie Scar had planted. Simba returned, not as a fearless hero, but as a lion ready to face the truth. As Simba approached the Pride Lands, he saw what Scar had done. The golden savanna was gray, broken, dying. This was the cost of betrayal. This was the price of exile. Simba climbed Pride Rock, and the final confrontation began. Scar denied nothing. He twisted the truth, mocked Simba. Ahmed tried to control him with guilt once more. But this time, Simba stood firm. He forced Scar to confess, and when the truth was revealed, Scar lost everything. The final battle was not just physical, it was emotional. It was destiny correcting itself. Simba defeated Scar, but he did not kill him out of hatred. Scar's end came from the very fear he ruled with. When the rains fell and the land healed, Simba took his rightful place as king. The circle of life was restored, but the scars remained. Because leadership is not born from victory alone. It is born from loss, exile, and the courage to return. And that is where this story truly begins. Simba's return to the Pride Lands was not the end of the story. It was the beginning of something far more difficult, the journey of living with the past. The rain that washed over the savannah after Scar's fall brought life back to the land, but it could not erase memory. Grass grew greener. Trees stood tall again. Animals returned, yet, within Simba's heart, echoes of betrayal and exile still whispered. Becoming king did not magically remove doubt. Every sunrise reminded Simba of the responsibility he now carried. Every sunset reminded him of the father he lost. Simba ruled with kindness and fairness, but in quiet moments, he questioned himself. Was he strong enough? Was he wise enough? Or was he simply a cub who survived long enough to wear a crown? Scar's shadow lingered, not in body, but in consequence. The Pride Lands had learned what fear could do. Under Scar's rule, trust had been broken. Hyenas had turned against lions. Lions had turned against one another. The circle of life had been twisted into a hierarchy of survival rather than balance. Simba understood that restoring the land was only half the battle. Restoring belief would take time. Simba chose patience. He listened more than he spoke. He walked among the animals instead of ruling from above them. He remembered Mufasa's lesson that a true king is part of the circle of life, not above it. Slowly, trust returned, not because Simba demanded it, but because he earned it. Yet Scar's legacy refused to fade quietly. Some animals still feared change. Others whispered that Simba was weak because he showed mercy. There were even those who believed Scar's rule, cruel as it was, at least brought order. These whispers reached Simba's ears, and each one struck a nerve. Scar had ruled through fear. Simba ruled through understanding. But understanding took time. At night, Simba dreamed. Sometimes of Mufasa, standing proud beneath the stars. Sometimes of Scar, smiling with cold satisfaction. These dreams were not nightmares. They were reminders. Simba realized something important. Scar was not just a villain of the past. He was a warning for the future. Power without balance destroys. Simba began teaching these lessons openly. He spoke to the young lions about responsibility, about choice, about how fear can turn even family into enemies. He did not hide Scar's betrayal. He did not erase history. He taught it. Because forgetting the past allows it to repeat itself. Far beyond the Pride Lands, Scar's influence had traveled further than Simba expected. Old alliances had shifted. Territories, once peaceful, now watched the Pride Lands with caution. Scar's fall had created a power vacuum, and not all predators accepted Simba's rule so easily. Challenges rose. Borders were tested. Outsiders questioned Simba's strength. Some believed the Pride Lands could be taken again, just as Scar had taken them. Simba faced these challenges, not with immediate force, but with clarity. He defended when necessary. He negotiated when possible. This balance confused his enemies. They expected rage. They found resolve. But inside, Simba struggled. Each difficult decision reminded him of the moment. Scar forced him to choose between guilt and truth. Simba feared becoming too harsh. He feared becoming too soft. Netta, leadership, he learned, was a constant tension between heart and duty. In moments of doubt, Simba returned to Pride Rock's highest point and gazed across the land. The circle of life moved endlessly, birth, growth, loss, renewal. We reminded him that even kings are temporary, but the values they leave behind can last generations. Scar had left fear. Simba wanted to leave hope. Scar believed power was taken. Simba believed leadership was given. One evening, Rafiki approached Simba with a knowing smile. He spoke of the past, not as a wound, but as a teacher. "The past can hurt," Rafiki said, "but you can either run from it or learn from it." Simba had done both. Now, he learned, who realized Scar's greatest defeat was not his fall from Pride Rock. It was that his ideas failed to survive. Fear could rule briefly, but it could never build. Betrayal could seize power, but it could not sustain it. Simba understood then that redemption was not just about reclaiming a throne. It was about transforming pain into purpose. Scar's story became a lesson told beneath starlit skies. Cubs listened wide-eyed as elders spoke of ambition without compassion, intelligence without wisdom, and strength without heart. Scar was no longer just a villain. He was a cautionary tale. And Simba, shaped by exile and return, became something Scar never could. A leader who understood loss. A king who understood forgiveness. A guardian who understood balance. But the story of Simba and Scar did not end with victory or defeat. It lived on in every choice Simba made. In every moment, he chose courage over fear. In every time, he chose truth over comfort. Scar's roar had once shaken the Pride Lands. Now Simba's silence spoke louder. And as the circle of life turned onward, one truth became clear. Betrayal can break a kingdom, but redemption can rebuild it stronger than before. Tide moved forward in the Pride Lands, but the story of Simba and Scar never truly faded. It lived on in memory, in lesson, and in legacy. Simba now stood firmly as king, yet he understood something many rulers never do. A crown does not end, a story it continues it. The Pride Lands flourished again. Grass swayed in golden waves. Rivers flowed strong. Life returned in balance. To the outside world, it seemed the wounds of the past had healed completely. But Simba knew better. He knew that leadership is not measured by peaceful days alone, but by how a king prepares for difficult ones. Scar's betrayal had taught Simba the cost of ignoring warning signs. So Simba remained watchful. He encouraged open voices among the pride. Disagreements were no longer silenced. Questions were welcomed. Simba believed that a kingdom that listens is harder to deceive. Where Scar thrived on secrecy, Simba built transparency. Where Scar isolated himself above others, Simba stood among them. This was Simba's greatest strength. Yet, even with wisdom and growth, Simba still faced moments of loneliness. Late at night, when the Pride Land slept, he would look to the stars and feel the weight of generations pressing down on him. Kings before him. Kings to come. He wondered if Mufasa ever felt this way. And in those moments, Simba finally understood Scar more clearly, not to excuse him, but to comprehend him. Scar was not born evil. He was born overlooked. Scar believed intelligence should outweigh strength. He believed cunning should outrank honor. But instead of proving his worth through service, he chose resentment. Instead of rising through growth, he sought shortcuts. Scar allowed jealousy to define him until it consumed everything he was. Simba realized something powerful. Scar was a warning. Not just to kings, but to anyone who lets bitterness replace purpose. Simba shared this understanding with the younger generation. He taught them that envy grows when comparison replaces self-worth. That leadership is not about what others have, but about what you are willing to give. The story of Simba and Scar became more than history. It became guidance. As years passed, new challenges emerged. Outsiders tested boundaries. Droughts returned. Difficult choices resurfaced. And each time, Simba faced them not as the cub who ran away, nor as the lion driven by anger, but as a leader shaped by failure, exile, and redemption. When fear whispered, Simba listened, but did not obey. That was the difference between him and Scar. Scar let fear control him. Simba let fear teach him. The legacy of Scar faded, not because Simba erased it, but because it no longer held power. Fear lost its grip when truth replaced it. Betrayal lost its influence when trust was rebuilt. Scar's name became a lesson, not a threat. And Simba became something greater than a hero. He became an example. 2. The Pride Land Simba story was proof that falling does not define you. Running away does not end you. What matters is the choice to return, to face the truth, and to grow beyond your past. The circle of life continued, as it always does. Cubs were born beneath the same sun that once crowned Simba. They played in the same grass that once withered under Scar's rule. Nay, listened to stories told beneath the stars, stories of two brothers, two paths, and two very different endings. Scar chose power without love. Simba chose love with responsibility. One ruled through fear and was forgotten. The other ruled through balance and became legacy. In the end, the clash between Simba and Scar was never just about strength. It was about values. About choices. About whether pain becomes poison or purpose. And as the wind moved through the savannah and the sun rose once more over Pride Rock, the truth remained clear. Betrayal can steal a moment. Exile can steal years. But redemption can restore a lifetime. And that is why the story of Simba and Scar will always echo through the Pride Lands. Not as a tale of hatred, but as a reminder that even in the darkest shadows, the circle of life finds its way back to the light.